Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It's good to be here again. And as always, I am Toluwalope Toluwase, and it's the gospel truth, shaking tables using the scriptures. All right, it has been a wonderful time on this show so far. This is the 11th edition.
Glory.
And we thank God, we thank God, we thank God. And as always, I have my co-host. Unavoidably, she was absent at the last episode. So we missed her. We all missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah, so it's good to have Christabel back on the show. You're welcome, Christabel. Say hi to the
Hi guys,
viewers.
I'm back again.
Thank you so much for coming. All right, I hope you're ready for what we have in stock for you today, because it's going to be an amazing one. And we have a wonderful and amazing guest in our midst here today.
Yeah.
All right, so he is the, let me just read it so that I don't miss anything.
Very important.
Yes, so let me read it. Okay, so I have with me the head of Academy and Coaching Services at Olushola Coaching Academy. He's a certified leadership and success coach. And most importantly, something that caught my eye in this profile that he sent to me is that he is a child of God. You know, what beats that?
Nothing.
All right, please kindly join me to invite Mr. Ezeogu Chukwuemeka Kayode.
Welcome,
I hope I
sir.
tried with my
Yeah,
introduction.
you did. I think you did justice.
All
Most
right.
people won't have done that.
Thank you so much
It's
for
good
coming.
to be here, though. Thank you for
glad
having
to
me.
have
Thank you,
you.
sir.
We're
for
glad
having
to
me.
have you. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so we have a very wonderful topic to discuss today. And it's more like a question. So I think we'll first answer the question before we now further go into
Okay.
the full discussion.
Okay.
Can passion pay the bills?
Hmm.
Can passion pay the bills?
Can it?
No?
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Passion
So,
can.
passion can, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Passion can pay the bills, but you need to know how.
You need to know how.
Yeah.
And so we are going to talk about the how
Yeah.
today.
Exactly. Passion
All right,
can.
so moving forward, there are some misconceptions about this question that we've just asked. You know, many people feel that passion can't get them there, especially when it comes to finances, establishment, you know. So there are a lot of misconceptions out there about passion, paying the bills, you know, having a successful, passionate career, and also having a financial success. Yeah, so can you just share with us some of these misconceptions and why they are not things we should believe in? You understand? Why they are not values we should walk by?
All right.
Yeah.
I think most people, because we have a crazy tendency in our world to want to think that we know what reality is. So they will say that be realistic. So because they think they know what reality. Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, we have that. It's almost like it's a sign of our superior intelligence. You're not realistic. So the person who's telling you you're not realistic feels I'm a little higher than you. So you're outside reality. But reality is very subjective, but that's not where I'm going to.
Okay.
All right. Oftentimes, people who tell you that you can't profit from passion tell you that because they think that being passionate does not align with reality. Realistically, you have bills to pay. Realistically, you have this. But realistically, I'm passionate too. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Just as realistically, there are bills to pay. Realistically, I have a passion for something. I'm passionate about something. That's a very strong part of my reality. The one place where we've been able to see people profit from passion really is in entertainment.
True.
So when you get there, they say, okay, yeah, that's entertainment because people, I'm passionate. So you can say I do this for a living. All right. But you can't say I'm passionate about what? Sweeping? Or I'm passionate about
Cleaning.
debts? There's something with me and debts. Or there's something with me and plastic. Or there's something with me and my pen. People just begin to look at you like, okay, this one's going local. Ecclesiastes 10, so that I can put a very strong foundation to this. I think it's in 2 or 3. It says the labor of the fool weariest them all. because they know not how to go to the city. So they are frustrated, not because they are not laboring.
Okay.
They are worn out or wearied, not because they are not laboring, but because they don't know how to go to the city.
So how to make that passion?
Exactly.
You know,
because
if
you go to the city, you get better value for your labor.
True.
So it's not the fact that you are not laboring that is giving you the frustration and the weariness and the poverty and all the things that you're carrying around. It's the fact that you've not been able to connect your labor to the very place where you can get the highest value for it. So when people say they're passionate about, we live in the most prosperous age ever. This is the only age where you can do anything and make money.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Anything.
Literally. Like
Anything at all.
anything. You can literally say, okay, I mean, I laugh for a living.
Yeah, and you make
And
money.
you make money.
I mean, there are people who say, look, my job is to hug people. So if you're feeling very miserable and you're all by yourself in your house and you need somebody to come and hug you, I will come.
Can you make money?
I have a call number. There's an amount you pay to my account before I come. That's the dispensation and somebody say I'm not passionate. I'm passionate about hugging.
Wow.
Can you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
The challenge is not in passion per se. The challenge is in connecting passion to the market. And if people can make that connection, anything is possible. You'll be shocked as to what people do for money. It's just that we don't know what people do for money. You live on a certain street and there is this woman that's been selling amala all her life. Everybody know her on the street. This is Yamulika Amala. But Yamulika has not made money. Then you just cross the ocean, cross the Atlantic Ocean and just go the other way. And there's this nice guy with dreads selling the same amala. And then he can say he can afford to live in a 50 million naira house. Wait, now, is it the same amala?
How?
How can Mamulika be selling amala for 3 generations and she's still broke? And then one dude just decides, you know what? I'll set this amala joint up in this place and I'll put this and I'll put that and I'll put that and I'll put that.
And all that.
And then it's the same amala. Sometimes it might not even taste as good
As the
as
Amulika's
amala.
Yeah.
That one is 3 generations of practice.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy who's just, when if you ask him, he said, look, I'm passionate about amala. I'm just passionate about how people eat it. I like African food. And I want to make sure this African food is presented such that there is a global light on it. Plenty English, plenty branding. Bottom line, I like amala. I'm passionate about cooking amala. And I built something around it and found a way to connect amala to the market.
So it's well accepted.
Exactly. So passion can pay the bills. Passion can meet the needs. Passion can help you prosper. Passion is your first permission actually to prosperity. The first. So if you don't have education, you don't have experience, you don't have, name all the things that people give as excuses that you don't have. If you don't have all of that and you're passionate about something, that is your first permission. That's the first go ahead that you've got. Look, just go.
Just start it, be diligent and
Exactly. Just go.
you take it from there.
Right. So I mean, that's one of the ways to look at it. The misconceptions are plenty.
Yeah.
And sometimes the reason why people have these misconceptions is because they have evidence of people who didn't succeed
in them.
right? With their
Yeah.
passion. And those, they say evidence terminates
Yeah, they use them as examples.
Yeah.
So these are the guys.
Learn
see,
from this person.
that one.
Can't you
In fact,
see?
it's almost like you telling your parent, maybe 15, 20 years ago, tell your parents, look, I want to be an artist. I want to draw.
Oh no, they won't no.
I
Forget
had
trouble.
I had a 10-year-old boy recently. I was talking with him. What do you want to do? He said, I want to be an art illustrator. It made sense.
Yeah, it makes
It made
sense.
sense,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't tell my father that
No.
20 years ago.
Lie,
that
lie.
I want to draw. He said, how?
Lie,
How?
lie.
They won't take that.
Lie.
And he asked, boy, what? He said, no, I so love it. I'm passionate about this. And the mother knew, like, the only thing the mother gives him is just manuals to draw and pen.
Materials.
And the boy has been doing awesome, fine,
You'll be
Exactly.
happy.
right? that's why I said we live in that dispensation where it's possible to do anything
and
make money.
to meet your
Can
bills.
you make that thing look like a need? Can you blow it so everybody sees that, look, I need this? And then can you define what value that holds? And then ask people for that. People would always give value for what they perceived. I mean, this is something powerful. Right? So, yeah, the misconceptions are plenty, but then
You've actually outlined the major one.
Yes.
you that covers like most of the misconceptions that we know. Okay, so Christabel.
So can you share a brief personal story on how you found purpose and how it affected your finances?
Okay,
found purpose in passion.
All right, so I mean, well, I hope we have time. It's a long story.
Oh, okay.
Just make it brief for us.
Just brief. I'm sure we get it.
So, I mean, I had a rough patch going to the university. I was like, I think I stayed outside secondary school for like 7 years, just doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, I was telling my sister or my wife recently, look, I've done all the jobs I should have done in my life. I've done them before I got to university. All the crazy things. So there's no way I would do any odd job again in my life. I've had 7 years is perfection.
Yeah.
I had perfected everything
Perfection those years.
I should do behind. All right, anyway, so by the time I got into the university, obviously by the time I was finishing, there were a lot of things I could not do. So if you're going into banking from 2009, 2010, you had to be between 24 and 26.
Yeah.
Most graduate trainee stuff would give you that. I was 27, 28 by the time I was finishing university finishing service. So a lot of doors were shut naturally. Like, okay, because of the dispensation and the time you're in, you cannot apply. Even if you apply, they will consider everybody else before they consider you. So that was supposed to be my disadvantage. But then the advantage was that while I was on campus, I had started talking. Right. So this is it. I had my first degree in industrial mathematics. I used to think, I still think I'm smart. Right. But my second year in maths, I just knew I can't do this. Not because I couldn't do it, but because I can't connect it with life. You know, at some point I'm seeing ones and zeros, I'm seeing A, B's and X. I can think through these. Right. There was a year we had to do, I think it was in my third year or so. It was we're doing I think it was mathematical modeling, and it was supposed to be something beautiful. But there was a particular formula I don't know how to call it a formula, it was a model, mathematical model for disease propagation. For me to create that model, I have to walk through 7 pages.
Okay.
Right? And get 14 high order differential equations, 14.
Wonderful.
And I had to know all of them. You know, I could know all of them. I could rewrite that in about 5 or 4 different ways. But you know the catch is, the moment I finish the exam, if you ask me, if you look and say, can you rewrite? I will punch you in the eye. Now, I don't know how I will punch you in the eye. Like, how do I keep 7 pages of work in my head? I have another exam to write. So I have to dump this.
So that you can take
in more.
Yeah, maths is a beautiful subject, really. But by the time I was in my second year, I was already reading a whole lot of stuff. I was beginning to understand human psychology. That's what I was reading a lot about then. And I figured, look, I like the way the human mind works. I like how I can be able to deconstruct people because I know how they think. This is fascinating. I was doing a lot more reading in that space than I was doing in maths. I think by the time I was through university, I had about maybe 9-10 textbooks in maths. I had about 500 other books in different things from leadership to life to stuff. So by my second year in university, I knew that maths
was not the way.
Maths not it.
It was not the way.
So I began to I started my first company in 2009. Just doing random stuff, training people, going places. By the time I was in my 4th year, I was already traveling and training. I wasn't collecting money. So that was the free part. That's the passion part.
Yeah, that's the passion part.
That's the passion part.
You have
That's
to
when
go through that part.
That's when you do the legwork. That's when you build the psychological muscle. That's when you're training. It's when you're beginning to master certain things and say, you know what, I'm developing competence across different places for different things, and I'm beginning to learn to speak to a variety of audience. I'm beginning to learn the nuances of the industry. At first, it was just speaking, so that's what they will call you. They will call you motivational speaker.
Okay.
I didn't like the term.
Okay.
because I figured that I needed to connect with the person. I wasn't just talking to their brain. Can I speak to their soul? Can I touch them in a way that random people had not touched them before? And that was what I was trying to learn then. I mean, it wasn't very conscious, but I kept doing it. Finished university, couldn't get a job anywhere in the first place. For like three to 4 months, I was just sending CVs, and I was good. You know, I'd prepared for the first interview before I left. I was ready. I'll kill all of you. But then the job didn't come until maybe 5 months after NYSC, and I got a job in a consulting firm in Ikeja. And then they did the worst to me. Before I got here, I'd spent from my 200 level to about three years. I spent those 3 years doing stuff, going around, training, talking. I was mobile. I was active. So by the time they hired me as a junior consultant, they just placed me in front of a computer and just said I should be generating proposals. And I got sick. Not really. I was on that job for just 2 months. I literally fell ill.
Wow.
I fell ill. It was miserable. And the pay was good. The pay was tempting. It was so good. It was good enough I should just sit down there. But I wasn't doing anything. So, cut long story short, before I got the job, because of what I did, because I schooled in Delta, because of what I did while I was in school and all the work we did even after school in Delta, there was going to be an economic summit in Delta. I got a delegate slot. So I was going to go. I already had a job. So my CEO had traveled. The lead consultant that was in head of my unit, I went to him and told him, look, before I got this job, I'd already gotten this slot. And at that time, it was 45,000 naira to get that slot. Right? And then they were going to lodge us for the entire duration. So it was just a state government thing. So I said, I'm going, and he said, it's okay to go. The highest, take our sales material and just sell when you get there. But I knew that I was not coming back to that job. I just knew that. I just knew I wasn't coming back. Right? And this is it. I remember that day because I took a bus to Delta State. My boss was not supposed to in any way go close to Ikeja. The route does not
tell him.
But that morning, for some crazy reasons, my boss drove past the front of my office, literally telling me, can you take a look? You might not come back here. Right. And I remember, if I go back to the post around that time, was sharing the same things, apprehension of not coming back to work, because I knew this is not what I want to do. This is not who I am. All right. So walking that part, and by the time I came back, I obviously lost the job and left there. But I didn't have anything else to go to. I was in my 30s. I didn't have money. Then I was still staying with my mom. It was the craziest time of my life. Like the legit craziest time of my life. But I knew what I could do. So carried a few, there were two boys who were my friends, literally grew up together, were in church then. So we began to do the same thing across secondary schools in the area I stayed then. It was not paying. We were not doing it for money. We're just going to just inspire young people, tell them about the future, tell them how to prepare, tell them what to look for, what to aim for. They were not the people I wanted to speak with, but they were the people that were available. So I kept talking. They were the people who would give me the space to talk to them. I kept talking. I worked with like 8 secondary schools then. And then I knew exactly what I was going to do. I know, okay, I don't want to talk with these guys. They can't pay me. Who can pay me? How do I find myself in a space where I can connect with the people who can pay me? What will those people be looking for? So it now, that question, answering it now, determined what trainings I was going to go for, what certification I was going to get, what kind of place I was going to look for, work at. And the moment I knew that, an opening came, I went to train to certify as a life coach. In the same place where I certified as a life coach, I connected with the person who was training, and it made a lot of sense. He was doing what I was dreaming, and he was doing it at a very powerful level. He was doing it for individuals, for organizations.
Just as you wanted it.
Yeah, this is exactly what I want to do with the whole of my life. So I just said, you know what? I went and did the master's, came back and said, you know what, sir, I just want to stay here. I had a master's. I had 3 years post-university. I had certifications. Then I'd finished certifications in leadership. I'd done a lot of learning. But by the time I joined him, I wasn't asking for money. He had access to the market. He knows the way to the city. I wasn't about to labor a fool's labor. I said, you know what? I would align. Whatever you want me to do,
I will do it.
I'll do. If it's carry your laptop, I'll carry your laptop. And guess this. So because it was a small boutique organization, I knew I could go to any of the big 5 consulting, but I would start from the down. I was too old for that.
Yeah.
I was too old to I needed to start from a place that gave me advantage, gave me a point in the market. And he was doing that. So I just aligned. And the beauty was, because he's just him and maybe other stuff, every place he's going, I'll go. Every meeting, I'll enter.
There.
So I was inside governor's office before I even knew how to talk very well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're already meeting people, executives, C-level executives, going for high-level trainings, going to places that, the first time I traveled out of the country, all expense paid, it was training. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I needed that man. And I didn't. So for my first 8 months, he was giving me a stipend of 35,000 naira. It wasn't, then I lived in Aja. I was living with my sister in Aja. It wasn't enough to transport me from Aja to Lekki every day for 1 month. It didn't matter. No, it didn't matter at all. Because if I mastered the art of what I am doing, and mastery is key when it comes to purpose, when it comes to passion. Don't just be passionate about something. Master the passion. Right? Because there are plenty painters on the streets. And then you go to an art exhibition and somebody is displaying vase that he painted. And you look at the price and you're wondering, where I don't even have the money.
How?
And they say, no, that's the work of a master. So whatever your passion is, there is a journey you've got to take from passion to mastery. It is when you get to mastery that you can now say, okay, this is how much I charge for my work. And I knew that was where I was going, because as at then, my boss was charging 150,000 for 1 hour session. If you want to come and have a sit down. I'm like, that's a lot of money. All right.
I know that feeling.
But I like the fact that these people could pay.
Yeah.
So there was a market that he was appealing to. And the market, they were affording to pay. I figure so that people can pay this money to have somebody tell them you have a problem. Right? People can actually pay this. Now I need to know how to solve this problem well.
Yeah.
I stayed in that journey. It was there I became an icon coach. There was in 2017 to 2019, we had a list of coaches in Nigeria. We selected them. I became an icon coach in that. I headed part of the Congress of Life Coaching Association of Nigeria around the same, because I was inside that circle. Right? The level of mastery I gained in 5-6 years, I couldn't gain anywhere else. And only because I was pursuing something I was passionate about, something I felt my purpose was tied to, and I had developed a body of skills around it. So I did not hold the passion alone. I did not say look, this is my purpose alone. I built a lot of body of skills around that. So that by this year, I could openly say, okay, so you want a session with me? It's 200,000 for 1 hour. And when I'm saying it, I'm not scared.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a journey that built you to
that level.
So I charge between $100 and $300 per session now. Why can I make that demand? Because I know that I will give you value. No, I'm not thinking. I'm not saying,
you're not sure.
I know that if there is a problem, right, I have training to help you solve it.
Yeah.
And I still have grace to help you solve it.
Exactly.
So the two of them put together, I know we will not fail. God will not fail me and He will not fail you. So when you show up in my coaching suit, half of the time you get the solution you need. The journey from just thinking I can talk, I can just talk, to saying I can actually solve your problem. That's about 13 years.
Process.
A very long process.
And that 13 years gives me the right to place the demand I'm placing now for the value that I give.
Yeah.
The problem is most people meet people at the point where their passion is still just passion. and they judge them. And the people that they are judging feel like, I'm not good enough. They met you when you were 21.
You can't expect.
Exactly.
You can't expect.
I
yeah.
know we live in a different world where 21-year-old boys could say they have their billionaires.
Even now, you still meet a 21. You still need to be sure that 21-year-old can handle some level
In fact,
of maturity.
I knew a lot of things. I do. Part of what I do as a coach and an integrative psychotherapist, I work with married people.
Okay.
There's some people I cannot. That they look at me. I know exactly how to fix them, but they say you're too young. We can't bring our marital problem to
Problems to you.
Yes.
They feel that what experience
The
have
first
you had?
question they will ask is, how old are you?
Wow.
Right? They are looking at people who's married for 21, 22 years.
Yeah.
And they now look, you want to fix me. No, you don't know anything. Right? So there is a journey. There are, and when those people come, after we talk, I still let them go. Because if I'm going to engage a client, I engage you, there is a first intake session where you don't pay anything. We just get to know what your problem is. And then I will tell them what I need to tell them. And I was telling you, still need to make a decision. So if you go, I'm okay. Because I know that if you don't find someone to solve your problem, the problem will stay with you.
Yes.
No, you will not come back. It will stay with you till I grow old enough to come and fix it. You don't get what I'm saying. I'm just saying that so long as you are developing the body of skills around that passion so that you can be somewhat of a master at that, it is impossible for you not to make it. The challenge for you is to locate where you are in the journey and locate how much more you need to know to be able to appeal to the market
fully at full capacity.
Then grow. And while you're growing, ignore. Ignore everything and everybody. I had friends who were buying cars every year. I was in university, like every year. So I had to just, chill. Guys, we're not in a competition. You have not bought my car. You have not married my wife. You have not lived in my house. You're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. And if I do this thing well, there's a way they say it in Pidgin. There's a way all of us will level up. So you might have been growing for like 13 years. And I've been doing stuff. By the time I grow this capacity to a point where it breaks me into the market, inside a year, we level up. And because I'm still growing, and you're already crested, I could still keep growing. But now I'm not looking at you anymore. I'm looking at how my life is unfolding, how the things I'm doing are making a difference. And this does not just apply to coaching, the psychotherapy, or the things I do. It applies to every single industry, every single facet of life, even the industries that have not yet been created. I mean, there are about 65 million jobs that will go extinct in the next 20, 30 years. That's like bad news. But the good news is that about 97 million jobs that will be created. There are people who are alive now who think they have a career
that might not be
exactly so that the
valuable.
Career in a matter of years will have changed so much that they become somebody else doing something else much more powerful. I don't know.
All right, so okay, so what I wanted to ask, I think you've been able to touch it in your story, which is the possibility of finding a career that aligns with purpose and still be able to have a stable income. And from what you've shared with us in the story you just shared, I think we've been able to establish that it is possible. And passion goes beyond making a big break and settling down. Like, okay, that's like, oh, I've gotten to the peak. Oh, let me just be making money. And so, like you said that one needs to keep, adding up to the body of skills so that you keep growing to be able to, maximize your passion and your purpose. And how can one stay motivated and focused when pursuing a passion-driven career despite challenges?
The first thing I will tell you is look for an association that is doing the same thing. In fact, that association will be your cocoon. That's where you will literally hide and grow. Now, one of the things that happens when you enter the association is you tap into what we call a hive mentality. So there is every association have a body of knowledge they run with, mindsets, all those things you may not have had before. The moment you join them, you know what mindset drives the industry. You know what what body of knowledge you need to be aspiring for and acquiring and getting. So literally staying inside that association would literally give you the wings to just coast. That's the first and it's most important because it's frustration hits harder when you are the only one who knows how frustrated you are. You are the only one who feels it and you're carrying it. And then every other person before you may look like they're succeeding. It is when you enter association, you meet people who are on your level. People who have gone past your level. You get access to materials, knowledge, learning, mentorship. But beyond that, you get access to people who have shared where you are. So they can encourage you and tell you, guy, you should have seen me 3 years ago. Or you should have seen me 5 years ago. So where you are is a good place.
Okay.
Right? So that's the first thing, find an association. Another thing, right, is to live within your means.
Because I was about to say something in that light because sorry, I want to just step in here. Now, talking about finding your association. As much as it's good to look for that association you dwell in, but the world we are in now is a world of let people quickly see what I have achieved. Do you understand? Let people quickly see that, the fact that I bought a new car shows that, I must have recently gotten a contract. You understand? Or the fact that I had a new house, or that kind of
I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's the dispensation of quickly wanting to show people out there that you are doing well, which I feel, because I'm speaking because now for me or for us, it's passion that actually drives. It started from passion and then we pushed it up, keep pushing it up on it until it became something as it is now. So now for me, in a situation whereby I'm not in that space where I want to quickly show off what I can achieve, and that is the rave of this association that you are saying that we should find.
So when I say association, I don't mean clique.
Okay. I just want a very
somebody
that might be having
people who
that
are doing what you are doing or what you are dreaming of doing. That's the people you look for.
Okay.
No, not boys who are your age mates.
Yeah, sure.
No. I'm not even talking about clique or. When I say association, and that's it. It's the power of association. You're looking for people who are doing what you're doing. Find a way to break in there. It will save you time in growth. One. Second, it will keep you focused because your reference points are relevant. The people you're seeing are relevant to what you're going to do or what you want to do. For example, if it's prayer you're passionate about, go and join people that are praying. Join prayer team, prayer group.
Yeah, start from
exactly. There. So, so you cannot be passionate about say making money honestly, and all your friends are your boys.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Bad influence.
So you select. When I say association, it's not just people. It's a group that are doing what you are doing or what you dream of doing.
All right.
And then while you are at it, see, there are two stages to what we call success in life. There is the build-up stage, and then there is the breakthrough stage. What most people see is breakthrough. They don't see build-up. But it is build-up that allows for big breakthroughs to happen. I think the right word for it is a dam effect. If you look how dams are created, they build something to stop water, so the water keep piling. The day that dam breaks, that's when people will know how much water has been. Exactly. So as you grow, that's what you're doing. You're storing up knowledge, you're storing up skill, you're storing up expertise, you're building your own dam. People will not see the build-up. It is when you now break through. That guy, my guy, I know him.
True.
But they're seeing breakthrough. But there is no breakthrough without build-up. As a matter of fact, the power of your breakthrough, the force of it, is determined by the power of your build-up. So what you want to do is you want to grow in secret. You want to live within your means. Like I said, I was 30, I was still staying with my mom. I couldn't afford to stay anywhere now, There was, and it was like, the house was not big, right? So my space was the couch, but I'll crash there with pride until I got. And you know how you can't turn well on the couch.
Oh yeah, sure.
Exactly. Until I got tired, and when I got a job on the island, when I came to intern, I told my elder sister, I can't be coming from Okomaiko to Lekki. The money does not even reach for
Reach.
Lekki. So can you guys help a brother out? And then I told her, in fact, it was my pastor I told. I said, sir, I intend to leave a house in 2 years. He said, is she chasing you? I said, no, I'm not getting any younger. But that would allow me save and plan.
Yeah.
So they gave me a room in their 3-bedroom. I'm like, thank you very much. And the dots, 3 years.
You moved out.
I said, oh, I need to go and cater to my life.
Yeah, sure.
Right? But you need those spaces. And I was not ashamed of those places because they were the places I had to go through to get to where I am. You might be ashamed for me. But even while I was on my mother's couch, I still knew where I was going. By the time I came back from the university, I came back with just the jean on my waist was the jean I had and the shirt. There was nothing, but I came back with the full Ghana Moscow, the larger Ghana Moscow bag and my traveling bag. Both of them had books. There was no space. It was my mother's room that my books were sitting inside. So I was inconveniencing her. So while I was in that house, I knew where I wanted to go. I knew that I had a lot of things. I had 7 years to catch up to. All right? I knew all of that. So I knew my reality. I wasn't competing with my friends who were doing fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think your friends are doing fine until you realize they're in a different industry.
Yeah.
The guy is in oil and gas. So how would you expect to make as much money as the person is making when you grow? Grow until you can level up.
Yeah.
Right? So live within your means and keep your eyes on that dream. Like literally commit your entire life to it. Make sure that even while things are tough, you're still seeing it.
Yeah.
Like when things are crazy, you're still seeing it. When people are beginning to insult you, you're still seeing it. Like, because that's the only way you keep building the skills, building the level of competence you need to build to get there.
Yeah. Okay. So in that light, how can you advise somebody that is stuck, unhappy? Because you've come through that experience. So how can you advise somebody that is stuck, unhappy in a job that doesn't give them this purpose, this satisfaction? You understand? How do you advise such a person? Do you advise such a person to just quit the job, just resign and go after your passion? Or like what advice can you give, sir?
My advice, this life, they say it that it's too short for you to live unhappy.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're old. And then if you look back, all you have is regrets. Life is exciting. Life is an adventure. I will not ask you to just resign and run. I would ask you to plan your exit. You see, when you're planning your exit, there are people you need to talk to. So if you're already married before you're planning your exit, and you know that, look, this exit, in the time I'm going to leave, we will shake also. You have conversation with your wife.
Must be on the same page.
This is why I want to do this. And I have a plan that if I do this thing right, we'll have a rough patch for maybe another 5 years. But after 5 years, I'll have hit the industry. I want you to be on this path for me. So the people you need, people who would suffer in the interim for your decision, you need to have a conversation with all of them. Because, believe me, I know this. If you stay on that job, you will be frustrated. You will not make enough money. Even when you make enough money, your frustration will create something inside you that the money will begin to take out. You will not find happiness. You will not find fulfillment. And what's most important is you will not have done the thing you were supposed to do here. That's the biggest loss. When you get to the very end and you just know, it's almost like you didn't leave. That's it. It's almost like you didn't leave. So you had big houses, you got big cars, you did stuff, but inside all of this, you never lived.
Vacuum.
Yeah, like
emptiness.
There's stuff I should have done. There was something that kept calling me that I did not respond to. I had this call over and over. And so when we talk about calls, people think it's just a call to preach. No. Some people are called to write. Some people are called to sing. Some people are called to talk. Some people are called to teach. Some people are called to paint. And when you meet those who are called to do it, who answer the call, you will love them.
You love them, yeah.
Because they do that thing like, this is life. Like, this is not an act. This is me living.
Yeah. Even when there are challenges, they are still happy going through those challenges.
In fact, they carried out a research about painters, and I like painters a bit, and they were checking their work, right? They found out that every time they commission a painter to paint, the work that the painter would paint because someone has commissioned them to paint is of lesser quality than the one they paint when nobody commissioned them. Like when they just, look, this is me just wanting to put
Just
my mind on the
express.
canvas. That's when they really bring out something incredibly powerful.
Powerful.
Not when there was a money motivation, but when there was a passion motivation. It was almost like, look, this is my life. I want to set myself on fire. Watch me burn. This is how I burn, like I burn bright. So when you get to the end of your life and you realize you never really burned, people never really saw you for who you were meant to be. That's the biggest loss to carry out of here. So if you find yourself stuck on a job, plan your exit. Give yourself time. How much money do I need to save that can cushion us for 2 months or 3 months? Who can help me? See,
Find help.
Find help. Who can I talk with? Who can I convince? I need to transit to this part where my life finds fulfillment. People who are making the most money today, right, are people who are doing what they're passionate about. Today, the most money. People who are doing what they're passionate about. And the beauty is, they don't see the money. They see their life. Like every time they go out to live. The average person goes out to make a living. These ones go out to live.
Whether the money comes
or not, I would have lived. I would have lived today. I would have done something that is 100% uniquely me today.
So in addition to what you said, it's important for such a person that, needs to plan their exit, God first, committing their works into the hands of the Lord so that He can establish their plans.
God is everything.
Yeah, because when you put God first, it becomes easy to make your partner or those you need to talk about, it becomes easy for them to understand
you
and come with you on that
journey.
And also
support you. So it's beyond just, this job, I'm tired. I just really need to leave it and all that. No, there's these emotions attached to it that if your partner does not understand it,
it's going to be frustrating.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating.
God, we didn't ask for, none of us asked to come here.
Yeah.
This was not your plan.
No.
To come to the earth was not your plan.
Yeah.
God put us here for something. And one of the easiest ways He helps us realize what He has put us here for is the passion on our heart. Moses we would call him a deliverer, but you would know that guy would be a deliverer when he could not stand oppression in somebody else. So if he sees it anywhere, he resists it. That's his passion. It was easy for him to wear the coat of a deliverer because that's his life. I mean, the worst pace of Moses' life was his pace he spent with Jethro.
Yes.
That was when he was useless. That was when the Bible says he was sorry. He was going around Horeb. You know what it means to be going around Horeb?
Doing nothing.
This is the worst way to use a deliverer's purpose. So the day he saw that bush burn, he came back and told Jethro, "Let me go. I mean, I'm not staying again. I'm old now, but I hear it calling me." So God puts passion in our hearts to call us to what He put us here for. That's what He's designed you for. That's what you're shaped for. That's what you carry that mind He put in you for.
And it's important to find it.
When you find it, you live life. It might not be easy.
It can never be easy.
But it will be life. I'm not explaining it. Every day you wake up, you're alive.
Yeah.
I mean, 100% alive. You're not wishing you were somewhere else doing something else, trying to get something else.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Awesome. In fact, everything you said has actually literally, all the questions that we have, it has answered everything. So it has been a wonderful session with you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you for having
and
me. Thank you.
I just want to encourage our viewers, passion can pay the bills. You just need to find how. Find how. Find not the illegal how, the legal the legal how, and how can you find that how? You need to be close to God. Being close to God makes it easy, for us to find that how. And that's why he said in his word that, my brothers and sisters, be firm, immovable, serving the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Our labor not being in vain is not just about serving the Lord. It cuts across everything we do, because when you serve God the right way you should, genuinely, definitely your labor not being in vain is you'll find the rewards in all that you do, in every decision you make, in every step you take, in every person you meet. It keeps ordering, like he said, the Lord orders the steps of the righteous. He keeps ordering your steps. So please don't be discouraged if you are doing something that has to do with your passion. Don't be discouraged. Don't feel that is the end of the world. Those challenges will come, but focus on the good part. Focus on the goal and believe that you will get there.
I pray God will,
keep your eyes on the prize. Like Paul said, I have fought so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to say, I have fought the good fight. I have kept the faith.
Finished my own course.
I've finished my own
personal course.
Yes, personal course. Yeah.
I kept the faith.
And you can also find passion in that salary paying job. Don't get it wrong. Some people, they just have that call to walk, with people, not walk, in the front. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Very much.
Yeah, so Christabel.
Yeah, and also don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at the Promote Gospel TV and on YouTube at the Promote Gospel TV. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we post videos. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. Kindly say something if anyone wants to get across to you, book a session or something.
If you want to get across to me, you can hit me on all my social media handles. I'm Ezeogu Chukwuemeka.
Can you take that again?
Ezeogu Chukwuemeka. Ezeogu Chukwuemeka on all social media platforms. And then you can just send a message on any of those. We'll just take it up and
email. Give us an email.
Right. So you can reach me at Ezeogu Chukwuemeka, ezeogu.chukwuemeka@gmail.com.
All right. Ezeogu Chukwuemeka.
Ezeogu.chukwuemeka@gmail.com.
All right. Sorry, I missed the pronunciation of your name. Ezeogu. I get the pronunciation now. So we are going to say this is the gospel truth, and you respond shaking tables using the scriptures.
Okay.
All right. So it's the gospel truth.
Shaking tables
using the scriptures. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.